You know, being an artist, everything has some meaning. And I remember this guy named Ted, who was just a hardcore shoe dog. Like one time I came back from Poland and he was like, Marvin, pick those shoes up and put them in the right place. I'm like, oh man, I can't have this no more, man. I'm done with you, man. You know, I can't be doing this. You know, but while I was there though, we took the shoe inserts out of the shoes, and these shoe inserts just looked like mouths to me, you know. And I just started collecting them, started bringing them home, and this is one of the results of them. Just, you know, sometimes they look like flower arrangements, and there are times I think they look like that one over there when it's just like things coming out at you. The piece next door here is somewhat different than most of the pieces I've done. But this is my daughter Ivy and her little friends Walking. And as a father, I was always the separation anxiety. She's 22 now, and I still worry about her. And this is just measuring time, window. You know, did you lose your key? Ring the doorbell. You know, just measuring time. And she's grown up to be a very beautiful young lady. She smokes too much pot, though.
And her value judgment.
This here, I never was a painter, you know. But I love putting paint on things, you know. And this here is like some cans I found, and this piece here was something I saw. Sometimes you pick, my thing is I pick up stuff and I see stuff in it. This was just blank here, but it had all these little embossed layers in there. And I saw rivers, I saw landscape. And these straps here I found, you know, just walking and stuff, you know, and that's how this came about. I just, you know, but I love landscapes though. I was telling a gentleman, Michelle, and Hank. They're talking about landscapes, but I was talking about nature programs. I love nature programs, you know, and this is just trying to capture that essence, that just being calm. You know, art becomes very meditative at times, and this is one of the instances here.
Now you said you found these things, but did you find all these things and accumulate them and then take the process of putting them together, or did you start and then you start finding things to add to it?
A little bit of both. You know, like this thing here, you know, I found this first, and I was like, wow, this was just like, you know, I'm coming out, you know. And I was like, I gotta take that. It's gonna be something. And I just kept it around the house. And then I started painting, you know, and it started looking like, you know, Kellogg's rooster. And I said, no, I don't want that. But I also, that guy who walks around the neighborhood picking up stuff, so I found these here. And I said, well, these could be like some beautiful wings or something. And then at some point, you know, it all came together. You know, okay, I'll put this here and make it looks like wings. It's like so, and it was also one of the things I've done after I got out of the bottles and the boxes. It was just like trying to getting out of the boxes. Getting out of the boxes was important for me because it was like in those boxes there was just a lot of stories of anger, loneliness, sadness. You know, a lot of basements. You know, feared a lot. You know, fear comes from, you know, for me, fear came from, you know, 1969, seeing your mom shot in front of you and stuff, and that stays with you for a long time. And you try to, maybe this is why you know, you ask yourself, why did I make all this? Was it for attention? No. It was because I found it fascinating, those bottles. But my grandfather used to have these snow globes around his house. I know this dude never left Chicago, you know, but he would have these snow globes around his house. And I was wondering, like, where did he get those things from? But they were always like, you know, some Santa, some white Santa, or some other stuff. I said, you know, like, how do you do this? But they were always very pristine, the snow and all that. And I said, I went a trip one day, life before our daughter, my girl Lou and I went to Tijuana, and we crossed back the border, and I just like, hey, this guy was selling these ships in a bottle, and I was fascinated by that. I was just like, look at that, that's great, man. And I took it home, and I just started experimenting, and then you after so many things, you develop your own science, you develop your own dialogue. And I said, well, I'll make my own snow globes, because I believe in, making my own, and that comes from, I was sharing this story with someone earlier too about how my brother James, Christmas didn't come like it was supposed to. My brother James made us these toys out of aluminum foil, and that would stick in me. And empowerment, the things, and looking at things around you, your own environment, and you was always ashamed of your environment. But that beautiful thing came out of my environment. This is my Aunt Gussie, who was running away from home, but she was a strong. She was the first black nurse to graduate from Malcolm X College. I believe her to be a lesbian, but she was just a beautiful woman who would always like tell me something, tell me things, and she didn't belong because they grew up in a house, 18th and Holman, where they all lived in the same house. It was 4 floors of relatives, and they all lived in that same house. Especially my mother and her siblings, they all lived in that house. It was cramped in there, and the kids would live there too. Luckily we were little that we didn't see. It was all fun for us. But I knew Aunt Gussie wanted to always get out, and she was very interesting because she never really had a boyfriend, but she had friends over to the house, a group of friends. She had white friends. It's like 69, 68, 1970 stuff, and I look back on that. So, I look at the pictures. I said, wow, Aunt Gussie was kind of like really. She would go to the Bahamas and stuff. I just thought she was like breaking away from that.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, and that's my Aunt G. Those bottles there, I made 100 of those things and stuff. But again, it was just being fascinated with looking inside and being inside something, and telling your story inside something, and also just. I grew up looking at art like this here. This here, I thought you can break that wall. You can put something in your hand. This is how I grew up with art. You can put something in your hand. You can touch it. It can be you. It's no longer that thing where someone else can make it, but you can't do it. And that's what I when I teach art to kids.
What's the white dots?
Just decorative. I just thought this. Otherwise, it was just like this flat color. I said now it looks kind of like a little happiness to it because it was just really just this bland rustic color, and I was like I gotta just. I'm not about snow globes.
That's what I thought. I was like,
You think about that, Pat?
Snow globes.
Snow globes. Snow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I got you. Cool, man. That's all right. I can live with that. I didn't even think that. I was just thinking man, I just got to make something a little more happier, man. This here, road trip, various awesome dioramas put together and stuff. Again, my fascination with nature and birds. I realized there's a lot of birds in these things too, and I had a fear of birds. I have a fear of birds, and I maybe on a subconscious level, you too. On a subconscious level, you can inside the boxes, you can focus on something. You're no longer afraid of something, and I think that's what I was coming. But maybe there were so many birds, I'm not afraid of this. Although I gotta go to France and a couple weeks from now, and hopefully I'll be over that. We'll see.
There are a lot of pigeons in Paris.
I'm sorry?
There are a lot of pigeons in Paris.
I'll be with the band. Just push somebody in front of me. This is a scarecrow that I probably saw on the road, but he's Afrofuturistic.
Yeah, all right.
This is an old farmyard, that you see. This is just nature. This is just, again, just being in the car. This is my highway Jesus here.
Now, this is a piece, or is it a compilation of
It's
pieces?
a compilation of pieces. Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, this is a compilation of pieces that we thought, like, how can you bring this stuff together and make one statement?
Okay.
And
Is it to be contained, to stay together?
yeah.
Okay.
Now it's sort of permanently.
Okay.
This is something, a shoe insert here that I took out. My wife had some boots. I took it out of boots and like, well, it's just like mountains, So, so because I mean, like everything, I mean, you can go crazy like that. But for me, I see things and they become. I'm like, this is something else. This is, So this is sponge and.
Is that a razor? What is this? Oh no, it's never mind. I don't know where my mind is.
Oh wow.
No, that's.
I haven't looked in there in quite a while. It's a rat. It's just. And these are the paper bag handles from Mariano's. I just would buy some groceries from Mariano's. I was like, these handles have to be something, so I just started rolling them up.
Is that what that's made out of?
Yeah, that's what that made it. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
So that's the handle?
Yeah. Paper bag handle. Yeah.
That's super cool.
That's a lot of paper.
That is.
Isn't that, sometimes I think, but it's fun doing that, because you just get lost in it, you know what I mean? Just turn on tonight's podcast and you're like, okay, man, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I got 100 of these rolled up. I can, do something. And so that's that. Various snippets from looking out the window on the road. This is another shoe insert here. My attempt at getting out of that darkness, out of those boxes. Like, I'll do something beautiful. I'll do something more in your face, because I love 3D. And just something just beautiful. I mean, what's beauty? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But if the owner of the eye is blind, then looks really wouldn't matter. Some stupid poem I wrote. But but this here is just like just fusion. It's just like in my attempt at trying to just you can be beautiful too, Marv. You don't have to be in this serious dark place. That's over with. It's not over with, but I know that I can be this now. And this here bird here, same thing. I found this walking down the street, same neighborhood, the Queens, and again, my attempt at getting out, flying. I'm getting up now. I'm flying now. I'm flying. This is post boxes. So it's like me just trying to get up. I'm a bird up in flight. This here is something that a student of mine was starting on like 15 years ago. And hey, it's my idea, why not just frame it and add some more things onto it. So I added the glass. But she did that, and she did that from things I brought into class that day. I brought cardboard. I brought some, stuff like this here, but I said, let me frame this though. Because this is something else. I was just amazed that this girl who was from the so-called inner city had this beauty. She had this depth of like this language of color that she could put this blue here. And she knew that this here would highlight this here or bring this out at you. I was just fascinated by that. She did that, So that's prologue. This here, a baby doll. I don't know really what that is. I just know I love that face, and I love the colors. These are headphones here. I turned those to like street lights. My attempt at I was looking at old New York Times Life magazine. So this is Alfred Hitchcock, and again birds. Fork for a knife, and and this is made of just wood. I collected all these strips. I think about like how long it took, And when you look at stuff, it's like, wow, I made this out of like, because I took all these straps of wood and made a frame out of this big photograph box. That took wow. Good smoke. That was. Again, another shoe dog thing. This year I like this more so than the floral arrangement. I like, because this is talking to you more. This is like coming out at you, and it's more conceptual than the more floral type arrangement.
Do you have a preference of the orientation of this? If you have it on the wall.
Yes. Oh, my sister-in-law told me, Marvin, you should put these on the floor.
Okay.
And if you had 20 of those, it's a lot. 10. So you're standing from this aerial point of view, and that could be pretty strong. If that's where you're going, Pat.
I was going in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Put it on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, but that's also because he hasn't any room on the wall.
I know.
That's right. You heavy, bro. So what do you gotta do, bro? Hanging out the window. No, I haven't thought about that, but I thought the floor thing was pretty interesting. But
The floor reminded me of the glass artist out in the Northeast.
Chihuly, yeah.
It seems like you were very intentional on not making this look like a flower, right?
yeah, because
Versus the other ones.
I wanted to. I mean, I was twisting things and just trying to make it something ugly but beautiful.
So would you say this one came after those?
Yeah, this came after because those you initially, because they look like flowers. Okay, they look like they come like this. Want to just follow that path, but then after you say, well, after a few, you like say, well, I can do this, and so I started. So I know that the next one I do would be even more twisted, gnarled, and just that type of finding beauty and.
You're gonna add beads, you said.
Yes, that's a beautiful one though.
Oh.
It's gonna be like, oh wow, I still see it in my head though, Charles. So the next one I'm gonna do is gonna be all red, ruby red, with beads on them. So imagine beads, white beads, and this ruby red thing coming at you. What would that look like? Just like a tongue of a what animal has beads like a beady?
Anemone in the water.
So that'll be my next attempt. This is another one of those dark moments in my life. Patrick, you know what? This is just babies burning buildings, babies jumping out of windows. That's all it is. But I like it though. I mean, I like the colors in there. I like the attempt at building this garage that I have at home. And just the loneliness of this young lady. This like my wife was very lonely like that, and just trying to capture that moment. This is like 10 years old. Just capture that, and you don't know when you're making stuff. You don't know where you're going. You just end up somewhere. So this wasn't. I didn't come out. Cause how do you end up? You end up how you feel at the moment. It's not premeditated. Maybe it's the times. Obviously, I didn't think about that when I was doing these things. But it was just in this box. I just wanted to just like this is cardboard. Yeah, cardboard and wood and. So homes again. I was talking to Hank earlier about homes. Trying to find a home, or the misconception of home, and the misconception of marriage, children, and I try to put that in here. But see, artists like this here, you don't know where you're going. But it reflects what's in you, and that's how, for me, how performing is. how music has to be for me. Just step in it, and whatever it is that's radiating from you will show through that piece, and that's what was happening 10 years ago.
Okay. Now the title says, would make me say, I'm gonna look for a rolling pin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Last night before, 24
Oh,
hours,
okay.
is that right? Doing?
Yeah.
I got hitting on the head, hitting on the head with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
All hit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Horror. This is the latest one I did of these here. Again, it's experimenting with it. Experimenting. I wanted something, metallic like. I wanted something more just like, what would that look like? Instead of like going for the happiness, and I just feel like this is the world, this is the globe, this is Earth, this is the sun, and these are dreams, I think I was telling
Kune?
Kane,
Uh-huh.
I was telling Kane about this here Stony Island Jesus. Met this brother on the train, had all white, he had a white, he was obviously crazy, but he had all white sheet wrapped around him. He had a, big draggled beard and cool afro, messed up, but he looked just like he could have been Jesus. And I just thought like put like Stony Island Jesus, and these are orange peels, some straps that my
Is he walking on water?
yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
never thought about that. Maybe this is
That's what I
maybe
thought.
this
Yeah.
here, grown up to the age of Diaper Dan, maybe that's what that is. But it also listened to Sun Ra too. So that's all that it's my attempt at being Afrofuturistic. Again, one of these here, Fireball. I think this too is another attempt at trying to make something more organic than a floral arrangement. Side Street, circa 1987, going back to the neighborhood north of Lundell and seeing the onslaught of gentrification. And that's what that looks like. It also looks like that, what's that album by Led Zeppelin? The album with the,
Stairway to Heaven.
yeah, with the front, yeah. But yeah, that's what that is. And I remember like growing up in the '60s, and my mom and my brother Melvin and I walking. I just remember the pool halls and the garages and the men sitting down on their stools and my mom trying to hurry up out of there. Yeah, past us, so we would see all that. But when you have when your sensibilities are touched at an early age, they're just waiting to develop. And I saw all that. I saw only thing that's missing here was the young woman I saw with she had like a orange fro, and that's the only thing missing. But
It also reminds me of those hand washboards,
yeah. Yeah.
The old-fashioned washboards.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. We had one of those. I might stop messing with that. Yeah. Yeah. Come in. All right. This here is another one of those hodgepodges again.
I love this because it reminds me of just like any black space, right? Where it's just you could have a doctor live in one space, and then someone's aunt who might have an addiction who's out on the stoop, and it's just and it's this look. Did you see the woman? She has her hands in her pocket. She's in a leisure pose. I think this is so cool.
And it lights up. And there's holes in here where you can put lights in there, and so you have these things lit up. And that's my thing too. I think I was telling Hank and someone about the lights coming down and out of the abandoned building, and a lot of these would have lights in them. And I remember when I discovered that I had like 20 of these around the house, and my daughter was like 4 years old, five, 6, and she says, I said, Ivy, wake up. Look what I did. It was like the house was really magical. There was all these lights in these boxes, and she was like, whoa, Dad, Dad, cool, man. And this is my fear of basements. I always had a fear of basements, you know.
And you worked down
I
in the
know,
basement.
you work in the basement.
Yeah. You got to get over it, you know what I mean? You know, this is just a neighborhood. This is that house. You put the light on here, you'll see the lights come down on these stairs here. This abandoned house. I had a fraternal twin named Melvin, passed away in 03. Miss Melvin, and this is just his ID. He was always handsome to me, right now. and just walking and seeing Melvin again. This is my
When
mother.
did he pass away?
03. Yeah. This is my mother. And you know, rare moments, cracking up. I know she was laughing just like me. I do the same, have that same movement when I'm laughing, you know, like real laughing. Yeah. This here, this lights up too, but I don't have a light to show you. But so if you had a light here, this will shine on this here guy here, which this is when Obama got elected, and that's what that is. Again, kind of like reminiscent of Lincoln assassination. And all that talk about, you know, your first black president got killed. And so this is what that is. This here, again, fear. These here birds, a lot of them this time, were created by, I was eating a lot of shrimp. And so I thought like these things are like beaks, you know, and I start like, you know, why not just make them out of those crows that keep, you know, following you and shit, you know? And so that's what that is. And just, you know.
He really does have a phone.
Right.
Birds, man.
Was it the movie?
That, yes, it was a movie. Is that funny, that movie? That movie,
It's.
I think it stays with everyone who sees it.
yeah.
I don't think it's just.
I think I'm the one who loved it.
I loved it too.
I really loved it.
No, yeah.
But the fear
I think you
and
remember it. For some reason, they
Yeah.
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
about it.
That's what it is.
Isn't
I'm
it?
not afraid of birds. Birds don't like me. They're always attacking.
Are they?
Out in the street. Birds protect me.
this
How
last
long
day,
did that take you to do this?
it took me like a month and a half. Yeah, I mean, bag handles from Mariano's, and the first thing is this here. This here was a type of instrument, a piece of wood where I think it held books, and so it was something like a book stand, something like that. But I took it because it looked like a rocking chair, like the bottom of a rocking chair. I was like, "Well, can I do that? I don't want to make a rocking horse." So I just started putting all this here, and it started turning. These are the shoe inserts here, the mouth. I just started saying, let me just make something, and whatever it goes, wherever it takes me, it'll take me. And it turned into this monstrosity. I mean, half dog, half tiger, half dream, half nightmare. You know, these are hooks from, you know.
No, I was going to ask you. You put those on.
Yeah, no, Patrick, they came on because they came alive one day. No, yes, it did, Patrick. You know that. Yeah, I put those on. And this here is a SOS pad here for tongue.
Oh.
And yeah, and in that room, if you want to go there, that's how my workspace looks at home. And there's some early boxes that I did back in the day there in the window on display. And that's about it. That's it. Thank you.